We live in an age where those in power are openly using every weapon at their disposal to impose their will upon the future. Where the principles of authoritarianism and individualism stand in open conflict in the streets, in the courts, in the news, in everyday life. Where the choices we make and the choices that are made for us have consequences no one can foresee. You do not stand alone. You do not fight alone. You do not suffer alone. We are united. We resist. We are here with you. As long as there is a truth that remains hidden, as long as lies are spread openly, we will continue to speak out. We will continue to question. We will continue to be the united resistance.
What do you want to do now, Cap?
The same thing we always do. Fight them until we can't.
That's right. Welcome to a special episode of United Resistance. It is 12:20 a.m. Eastern Time on January the 19th of 2025. I am your host, Supreme Heretic, and I've been away a long time. Yeah, been about 2 months since I've done an episode, and I'll be honest, it's not easy. It's been quite the struggle of ups and downs. I'm working these days. I'm back to a new job. Of course, if you follow my Twitter, know that I've got a new fiance. I've got, also my share of struggle. And we can get into the whole class divide. Obviously, my opinion, I'm living it. I don't believe that there should be a working poor class. I don't believe there should be the rampant amount of homelessness that there is. But thank you, Democrats. That's what you've given us for the last God knows how many years. So we know where that's come from, and it's not going to get any better until we spotlight that struggle and start taking care of Americans. And hopefully the new administration coming in, we had a great victory in the election. Let's hope that we can get back to taking care of the people that are rightful citizens in our country, that are the lifeblood of our country. And I think we all voted for that. That's what we want. And let's see what happens. We're all holding our collective breath to see what happens. But hopefully we can get started in that process. And as my streams go forward, I will sort of highlight that struggle that you have, that a lot of people don't see, where you could be working yet be a heartbeat away from homeless or not have a vehicle or things like that. And, I'm checking all those boxes. I'm facing all those struggles right now. Living out of a hotel, hey. Living with no car, hey. But I'm going to, as much as the situations can pull at you, bring your mental health down, I refuse to let that happen. I've got a lot to live for. And one of those things is that voice, bringing you that important conversation, bringing you that truth. And I want to bring in my guest tonight because we had a great conversation on the phone earlier. And, he's somebody that you know, that you love, that absolutely keeps it real. And that's why Wes Moody and I have been friends for a long time. Wes, welcome in. Great to see you, my friend.
Good to be here, my friend. I see some friends in the chat there, and it's good to see Rita and Dwayne. Been a while. Godzillionaire.
Yep. Yeah, we got a lot of great people.
Terminusest.
Adega's here, which is
Jed.
great to see him. Hello, Phoenix Fire. Jadenisa Chaos is here.
Thanks,
Great
Fire.
to see you. It kind of brings a tear to my eye seeing all these folks I haven't seen. But, Rita, Dwayne, it's great to see you guys. I've missed everybody. But, it's as I said, life has been happening. So it's not always easy. But let's get into the first topic, because everybody knows that TikTok was banned. All right. And, I have thoughts on that. Well, first off, I've always been in the camp. It's a Chinese app. It is not the greatest as far as dealing with your data. I don't feel comfortable using it because personally, I don't want to hand my data and activity details to China. But on the other side of it, and I saw Rand Paul's tweet about it, it does present a free speech issue to me. That's not lost on me. And as somebody that's a natural constitutionalist, I have concerns over banning it. Do I think that someone should step in and change the algorithm and create a completely US contained version of said platform? Yes, I do. But to summarily ban it, to me, starts to get on a slippery slope. A lot of us, and Phoenix is bringing this up right now, our info in some form or fashion has hit the dark web. Okay. The inevitability of that is the odds of that are increased these days, obviously. You got a lot of people ordering stuff off of Temu. I make fun of it all the time. I get why people order off it. You get deals. My own bloody wife to be loves Temu. But I let her do her thing. I've told her the concerns I have about it, but everybody is going to do their thing, and the choice is yours. So, I fully believe that you have to be careful, but we shouldn't take away people's ability to create revenue for themselves. And as content creators, I know Wes and I both, and all the people that we've met in our travels on YouTube, we understand as content creators the value of having a possible revenue stream. You know,
Absolutely.
it's it's a necessity now, because in the greater landscape, folks, jobs are pretty plentiful, but at the same time, how many do you need to survive? I mean, think about this. The average American now has to take 2 jobs just to survive. And that's a concern. And we can get into another day the whole discussion on where wages need to be and things like that, because a lot of people have different opinions on that. But the bottom line of it is the gig economy is huge for people. Whether it's Uber, whether it's Instacart, whether it's doing content, that option to have that income readily available is almost a necessity now. So I don't feel comfortable with taking that revenue out of the equation for many, many people. And there are a lot of TikTok exclusive creators that now don't have work until the app comes back or gets rebranded or something happens with it. And we'll see, because in the next 48 hours, if there's not a sale resolution, then, an alternative will have to come up. So, Wes, with that, I'm going to throw it over to you. Give me your thoughts on the TikTok ban.
Well, my thoughts are complex and multifaceted, but the simple answer is that I believe in free speech, and you have the government shutting down a free speech site. So that on its face says, no, don't do that. So I'm very much against it. Because that is, I mean, that's what the First Amendment says. Congress shall pass no law infringing on free speech. And here we have a law that's shutting down TikTok. It's very alarming. It's very alarming. And then you have the American companies, YouTube, and some of the social media companies censoring us. Some of us nuking our channels, which was pretty uncool. You guys in the chat don't even. A lot of people still don't even know what happened to the channel. They think I just hung it up, but I did not. So I get what you're saying. The revenue part of it. Now, as far as the back end, the spying and the collecting of data, well, they all do it. So I guess it doesn't really make much of a difference to me if it's going to China or it's going to here. I think it'd be better if it wouldn't be, and if it wouldn't be going anywhere. Like our friend LDG says, you keep your own data, have something like that. And it seems like technologically, it's pretty easy to make a social media or video sharing platform like that. But, for some reason it's not. It's all centralized. And now we have the precedent set for banning one of these sites. Not good. I'm alarmed. We'll see what happens once the new sheriff arrives in town. Got a lot of concerns about that too, but we'll see. Hey, Laura, welcome, my friend.
Yeah, as far as the sale of TikTok, it's going to go one way or the other. Elon's going to pick it up, or Kevin O'Leary has a bid, and I think he bid $20 billion for it. So we'll see what's going to happen.
This will be interesting if Elon picks it up, because Elon already has a lot of power and he already owns Twitter X. So it's like, if the same guy gets it, I mean, we'll see what happens. He's brought in free speech to X. I don't know if his motivations were necessarily pure for that. I think if he wants to make X the everything app, once you start censoring and skewing things, that's going to mess up the data that you get for the AI. And so it just makes sense, if that's what you want to do, to build your AI and collect this data, to not have the censorship. It's so many rabbit holes you can go down with this stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Putting it in the hands of Musk, that's one person that has, I think, too much power already. I wouldn't trust Mother Teresa with that power. So It's not like I'm a Musk hater or anything.
No, but you're pragmatic about Musk, and that's what I like about it. In the same way that I am. You know, I want to believe that in Elon's case that you know he is that dreamy-eyed humanitarian, but at the same time, we have to take pause because again, you know, guys, it's very easy. We've talked many times on this program about the WEF cult and the New World Order and the anti-human agenda. Okay, we're not out of the woods with those nutsos yet at all. So just so you know, okay, we're still going to be fighting them bastards off. But think about it like this: are we headed into getting away from their new world order, but into a different new world order where we have dictators, but benevolent dictators? That's what I worry about.
Benevolent as long as it serves their interests.
I want, as all of you here want sovereignty and power to the people. We don't want government meddling in our affairs, but we want government there for safety, security, and for the general administration of our territory. But the thing with all of this is where does the power lie? Where do we curtail it? How do we rein it in? And I think it is in the sense of getting back completely to the idea of our founding fathers and the Constitution, because that's where the answer has always been. And that gives me an opportunity to segue to another thing. Wes, Biden put out a statement about the 28th Amendment.
Mm-hmm.
28th Amendment. And it's like, dude, are you making amendments, pulling amendments out of thin air? Because there is no 28th Amendment. Okay, that it doesn't work that way.
Mm-hmm.
A new amendment has to be ratified and certified by states. And by the way, shout out, hail to Chris Mead as well. Chris, it's good to see you. I can't say that I'm doing 100% great right now. I'm not, but I'm fighting a good fight. Anyways, yeah, you can't just pull amendments out of nowhere. You can't make amendments out of nowhere. You can't pull it out of thin air. I don't care if you want to call it a presidential decree, an executive order, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't work that way. And they're trying to essentially throw in this 28th Amendment thing because it's a direct circumvention of the massive effort that we have to clean up America. It's funny to me how you can just pull something out of thin air, because states have to ratify this. Congress has to have a vote on it. So you want to tell me that Wes, where he comes off
I don't think the Constitution has ever really been important to Joe Biden, so he probably didn't take pains to really learn about how that part of the process works. Just had to line his own pockets. But no, it probably is something that appeared in thin air, much like whatever gaseous anomalies he's emitting in the Oval Office.
Yeah, it says on January 27, 2020, the Commonwealth of Virginia became the 38th state to ratify the Equal Rights Amendment. The American Bar Association has recognized that the Equal Rights Amendment has cleared all necessary hurdles to be formally added to the Constitution as the 28th Amendment. I agree with the ABA and with leading legal constitutional scholars that the Equal Rights Amendment has become part of our Constitution. It's like, where was the vote ever on this?
The ERA, I thought, died in the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think if I missed a congressional vote for this on C-SPAN, for God's sakes. I didn't ever see that. So you're just telling me you're going to pull an amendment out of thin air. That's not how this works.
Yeah, it's very confusing. I don't know. Maybe he'll be meeting with Francois Mitterrand as the senator from Connecticut on January 21st.
Yeah, I mean it's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know how in the hell that this guy and oh, by the way, folks, we were right all along about Biden, because if you watch it, and it's floating around Twitter, and I know a lot of you have seen it already. And hail to CJ, by the way. Great to see you, CJH. Mike Johnson actually was on a podcast, I believe. And, he kind of just said Biden was signing executive orders and didn't even know what they said. He literally was signing them and didn't know what they said or even what was in them. Now think about that for a minute. Like, this guy's just like, sitting there. These people are laying it on his desk going, sign it.
That's the kind of puppet you want, man.
I mean,
they got what they wanted.
I mean, my goodness. So what we're so who exactly was doing it? Was it staffers? Was this, just stuff that they came up with in the back room? Or was Barry in charge the whole time, handing them over to it? I think now a lot of us feel like, yeah, we really did have essentially a third term of Obama. That's what that was.
Yeah, whatever we got, it was a disaster. It was probably, I mean, he's going to definitely be in that Woodrow Wilson kind of, territory in the history books.
Well, I mean, he's, how Joe feels. I mean,
I don't want to hear any more of these lies about reckless spending. We're changing people's lives.
Yeah. The thing, man.
Oh God, RR says it was this Big Mike waving. Yeah, Big Mike's not going to the inauguration. And just in the side here, folks, look, there's a hot rumor, and I kid you not, that Barry was friendly with Trump back at the Carter funeral because, he's free of Big Mike. And I guess he's the hot rumor is he's tagging Jennifer Aniston.
Ooh, yes. I don't know about that.
Well, that's the celebrity rumor. Barack is handing it out to Jen. He's friends with her.
So, I posted in the chat there that I thought that Big Mike might be detransitioning. I'm gonna share this picture. She almost looks like the Emperor from now that I'm looking at it. And I think maybe he is detransitioning. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I don't know. That's a bit of a creature right there. That's
Yeah,
a
you don't
bit
want
of
to
a
look at it.
creature.
Don't want to look at
Yeah.
it too long.
I can't. I can't look at that too long. But look, I want to get into the security issues now, guys. It looks like, and this has been changing hourly with the inauguration. It looks like that President Trump, they haven't, is the location changes like literally every hour. You know, they said he was going to do it in the Capitol Rotunda, get sworn in there. That's changed now. They don't know if it's going to be at the White House now, wherever. It's definitely going to be indoors. You know, obviously they said they're bringing it indoors because of the weather.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yo, what up, Scattered?
I definitely don't believe it's being brought indoors because of the weather.
No.
Not even.
Wes, you and I were not born yesterday. We know. We know why it's being brought inside. And our audience, as smart as they are, you guys are damn smart. And that's why I love having you as an audience. You guys all understand that there is somebody or a number of somebody still out there, crazies that are ready to take him out. And I wouldn't be surprised if they were planning a, a drone strike because,
That's
yeah,
that's what Dan Bongino thought what was going on. He's the one. He even said, "Hey, it doesn't matter." You know, he was actually very vocal about telling him to be careful on inauguration day. But yeah,
yes,
apparently they had helicopters that were looking for nuclear materials too.
yeah. Oh well, they had 5,000 troops. Wes, I was actually showing that to Athena, my fiance. I was showing her the tweet where they were showing the 5,000 troops that were deployed to DC right now. You know, for extra beefed up security because this is unprecedented. There's a lot of people with TDS. There's a lot of people, you know, that still want to take him out.
Yeah, I think the TDS havers don't have the. I mean, unless it's like Alec Baldwin or something, don't have the guts to pull the trigger. Um, yeah, it's interesting because the security. I think one of the other things they were saying about it was that they were only going to allow congressmen and senators to be in attendance when he's sworn in, which I thought was pretty interesting. Yeah, I'm. The drone angle is kind of frightening because that puts us into a totally different age,
Mm-hmm.
and then of course, drone warfare where that's going. That's another thing Elon Musk is a very big proponent of is drone warfare.
Mm-hmm.
I think he just launched a bunch more satellites the other day, which seemed to have a dual purpose. What was it, like 130 satellites? It was a lot of them.
Yeah, but I will give him credit for this because there are some cool things humanitarian wise that he did, stepping up and getting the people in North Carolina Starlink when FEMA would not lift a finger to help them was a class move on his part. I will give him his flowers for that one. Um, Same thing with helping the people in California when when he needed to get Starlink to at least get communication going between the first responders and people that had lost things, where they could be able to have some kind of communication in lieu of phone service, since it was out. And I have my suspicions about the wildfires. I do kind of subscribe to the theory. I've heard theories ranging from directed energy weapons, similar to the wildfires back in what was it in
Maui, yeah.
in Maui, and I've heard the theories that it is the undocumented illegals doing, stirring this up because they were paid, or and I think that is more probably what it was, that they're paid, paid agitators. I think it goes back to paid agitators. It always has. January 6th was paid agitators.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing. I hope, beyond hope, that he pardons all the J6ers. A lot of them are starting to get out even now.
Yeah, I saw that.
But he needs to pardon the J6ers, and they need to come out and go after the people that orchestrated that honeypot in the first place, because that is what it was.
Absolutely, they definitely do. I think it's on his list of one of the first things he's going to sign. He actually said that he's going to start signing things immediately, basically as soon as he's sworn in or after he's given the speech, that he has a big stack of papers. He's not even going to wait. He's going to sign them right away. But going back to the fires, I just, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff out there right now as to the cause or theories and things of that nature. What is absolutely true is that that reservoir was bone dry, and it was, and so that was that is definitely evidence of something. And then it's just odd that and officially, I guess she was there for was it an inauguration or a funeral in Africa? But in any case, she was not in her city where she was supposed to be.
Well, you know what's funny, Wes, and I gotta say it because there's still people being forced out of hotels in Western North Carolina. And I can empathize with that when your only existence is living out of a hotel. But man, they're being forced out because FEMA's just, refusing to pay. These people don't have anything, and I understand there's also a need in California, but man, they really need to overhaul FEMA, just get rid of it, do a hard reset on it, and put in a federal disaster relief organization that is going to do something for everybody, because it was ridiculous. Even the response that they had to California, woefully ridiculous. I feel sympathy for the average Joe in California, but I don't feel sympathy for the millionaires and billionaires that lost homes, because they'll be just fine. It's funny how a lot of the hail small time republic, by the way, great to see you.
Look at my friend.
Wes, it's funny how many sort of prominent Californians and celebrities have now done a 180 and have become unintentionally or intentionally red-pilled by this. And, it's just kind of laughable watching their response. They're sitting there just going ham on the progressive mayor, on Gavin Newsom, and it's great, actually. Love it when that happens. But
Our state is fortified. Unfortunately, he should have. I think he likely was recalled. Had the votes to be recalled, but
Larry
there was
Elder should have.
fortification.
Yeah, Larry Elder should have won, absolutely. But we'll see what happens. I don't know that. Rita thinks it's still possible Newsom would be able to have a successful run in 28. And you may be right, Rita.
We were talking about that actually. I was like, I don't know. He's pretty unpopular. Then
I
on the
don't
other
think.
hand,
I
I
don't
mean,
think
not fair,
people
not
are-
a fair and square. He wouldn't. He would have to.
Yeah. I don't think people are going to forget about this. I mean, they would have to have some kind of massive psyop where he looked like roses in order for him to actually gain on this. But you never know.
What was that weird little dance he was doing when he had that interview? Newsom, you see that? Where he's,
Yeah.
did we finally see the Cardassian neck trick? Is that what that was?
Who knows, man?
To use a Star Trek
Or
reference.
he's got the lizard jitters. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe he got a hold of some bad stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, all the stuff that's been happening, and all the time I've been on the sidelines because of Life Guys. I haven't had a chance to chime in on all of this, including the election, the results, all of that stuff. I know I went on to Wes's channel. We talked about it a couple of times, but thank God that at least we had a sweeping victory from that sense, because I do think some things are going to change. I do have somewhat of concerns happening here over some of these cabinet picks. While I like some of them, I'm not sure about others. So, Wes, if you want to kind of go down the list, I'll go down the list here with you. Hey, old red shirt, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, buddy. Well, let's see. The actual list, or
Yeah,
just
if you want to, if we want to just kind of,
well, I'll say this: Cash Patel, thumbs up. I think
yeah,
that's a good pick
absolutely agreed.
for that position. RFK Jr., big thumbs up. Tulsi for that position, I'm not so sure about. I actually probably would have rather. I think she actually probably would have been a better Sec Def maybe nominee.
I thought so. I thought so too. I honestly thought so too. I thought she would be a SecDef nominee. Hey, Chris Mead,
See you,
nice
Chris.
having you here. Take it easy, buddy. I
Yeah.
still think she's going to do good as DNI, but we'll see.
Hegseth, I mean, people knock Hegseth. I guess because he drank and was a skirt chaser. I mean, this is Congress we're talking about here, the sitting in judgment
This
of this
is,
guy.
and that's supposedly because that stuff wasn't proven.
Yeah, well, I mean, and then the other criticism, the one that I think lands a little bit better on him, that sticks to him, is maybe the qualifications to run a bureaucracy like this, the Department of Defense. So I think there's some merit to that argument, but I guess you could counter that argument with saying that Donald Rumsfeld and Robert McNamara both had really impressive resumes.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have to wonder. And here's the thing about the concerns I have. Scott Bessent, I'm not sure about. The and there's a couple of others Linda McMahon was a bit of a head scratcher to me. Was like, really? Are we bringing Vince's wife in here after a scandal that rocked the WWE? I mean, it pretty much forced him into handing over the company. I mean, God, but
God, have you seen Mr. McMahon, the documentary?
I have not.
Oh man, that's great. But it was an interesting insight into the man. The Attitude Era definitely was a cool period to be watching WWE.
Yeah, yeah, I know. They're super good friends. So I'm not surprised Linda got the nod, and yeah, she is smart, but I'm not sure just how qualified she is to run Department of Education, to be honest. But
How qualified was Betsy DeVos?
oh God, she was god awful. She was god awful.
Well, hopefully we won't have a Department of Education for too much longer, so hopefully
Yeah.
it won't matter. Yeah.
Again, I have my concerns about Elon and Vivek and the Doge thing. If they can pull it off, if they actually do something with it, that's great. But I have my reservations about that until I see results.
Yeah, I mean, I guess before, they tried the line item veto and then that got struck down in the 90s. They said that has to be a constitutional amendment. And then Nixon, before that, impounded the funds. That is, he refused to spend them so that the money would go back to the Treasury, and that got struck down. So, I mean, we'll see. I think he just has to get his veto pin out. But his first term, he sure didn't mind spending.
I'm very lukewarm on Rubio and Wes. I'd like you to share your kind of opinion. You told me on the phone about Rubio because I find that fascinating, but I also agree with you. I am just not. I've never really been a fan of Rubio anyway. But go ahead. Give me
Okay. So if you recall, during Trump's first transition, he was interviewing Secretary of State potential nominees. One of those was Mitt Romney, and he did not offer Mitt Romney the job. And I think Mitt Romney, of course, was a senator from Utah at the time. And so I think Trump's calculus is that little Marco maybe isn't the most loyal guy in the world. It's a case of keep your friends close, your enemies closer. And he wants Rubio out of the Senate so he can sack Rubio if Rubio if he wants to sack Rubio. So I thought it was a ploy to get Rubio out of the Senate, in which case I say, genius, well done, sir.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I think the calculus was behind it. Oh, and then I also said in our phone conversation that he couldn't be any worse than Hillary Clinton, Anthony Blinken, or John Kerry. So yeah.
Yeah, I see Red Shirt and RR is like talking about the Department of Energy. Not thrilled about that one either.
Well, apparently they hide a lot of our nuclear stuff in the Department of Energy.
Yeah,
But I guess you could put that, in defense or elsewhere.
yeah. We'll see. We'll see, like what's going to happen with it. Oh God, I'm just not thrilled about the person that they picked. That's all.
Oh yeah.
It's the same. It's the same thing with Bissett. I'm not 100% on him. Same as I'm not 100% honestly on a lot of them.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm not so sure about. I don't know enough about him. I know that a lot of people have concerns about him. I haven't done a deep dive on Bissett yet. It's better than Jamie Dimon. I think he was considering Jamie Dimon for
Yeah.
a while. Oof.
Well, the guy for the Department of Energy, Chris Wright, he's the CEO of essentially a CEO of an oil company. So I get it. I get putting the business people in. It's just, can you trust them to put people over profit sometimes? That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, Mnuchin was a real dirtbag. He was here in California, and he actually cut a deal with Kamala Harris
Hmm.
over. I think there are some improper foreclosures is what was going on there. They were not using the proper procedure and taking homes that were not in foreclosure. And of course, the poor homeowner didn't have the money to hire a lawyer and get their house back. So, many cases. So,
Yeah, and
yeah,
I
he was it like One West Bank? It was something like that.
yeah, uh, that's why like some of these some of these give me a little pause, but I mean, I can't say anything until A, they're confirmed, and B, we're usually, I think the benchmark traditionally is 100 days. We'll see what happens after the first 100 days.
Yeah,
And
I don't
kind
even
of,
think I don't even think Mnuchin was really acting as the secretary. I think he was just flying around the world with that chick that he ended up marrying, and just using the title.
yeah,
Um,
maybe.
he probably just wanted his name on money.
Yeah, pretty much. Um, RFK Jr., you and I both are happy, happy about that. Um, you know, I mean, I
Yeah,
could,
RFK Jr. definitely is going to be a great pick.
Pam Bondi, I think, is up to the task. I really do. I think she's a tough lawyer, but I hope that she has the balls, theoretically, you know, to go and do what we knew Gates would.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see how it unfolds, but I mean, he says he's got a large stack of executive orders he's going to sign right away. Yeah, I mean, I don't see, and I know he said he's and maybe he's parsing a bit and he wants to be specific because they're accusing him of going after his political enemies. And he says, I'm not going to go after my political enemies, which that would be true. Because unlike Trump, the people that went after him actually did break and bend the law. And there actually probably were some laws broken, and they actually do merit an investigation as go abusing their power and going outside of the law. So I think there should be an investigation. Those people should be, if they've broken the law, arrested and tried. But I do hope the first stack of documents he signs is the pardon of the J6ers. I mean, you were there, my friend. You that could have been you if you would have taken a left turn or something.
Well, what's funny, and I don't know if you guys know this. So, God rest his soul, Will and I both were there. And, since then, um, now I've gotten strange phone calls here and there, a lot of spam calls, but I've gotten a couple where it's just like dead silence and hang up. I've gotten stuff like that over the past few years. But the interesting thing is that I get background checks that come up clean, and then I get ones that get held up. And I've asked somebody I know to run one, and it said I am on a list. So that I can't confirm 100%, but it makes sense. And I heard that Will was also on one. So I'm not surprised about that. And I wouldn't
I'm
be
not.
surprised if we've been surveilled. So um it's been an interesting experience coming out of it. In no way am I trying to compare my experience to the people that went through the hell that they have getting locked up in the DC gulag or other places, but you know, still it goes to show you that that whole thing was a honeypot. It was a honeypot. And there needs to be accountability. I really do believe there needs to be accountability, and they need to get to the bottom of it too. I want to see some people prosecuted. Political enemies be damned.
They gave Ray Epps a slap on the wrist because of double jeopardy. I don't think that they can go after him again unless there's more that we don't know or he wasn't prosecuted for.
I want proper accountability. I want proper accountability for the murder of Ashley Babbitt. There absolutely 100% are there does need to be justice. Absolutely.
Have you seen Donald Trump's new 47th president official photo?
Yeah, and you know what's funny? The takeaway I got from that, you know what's funny? Is he's got the I'm not messing around. I'll beat your ass look.
I think that he intentionally made it look like the mugshot. He had the same pose and similarly creepy lighting, and that was done intentionally.
Yeah,
and
I wouldn't doubt it.
If that's the case, I absolutely love it. Here, I'm gonna go ahead and share this. Oh wow, that's way zoomed in. Jesus Christ! Oh, I have to zoom out. There we go. Come on, man, do the thing. Shrink down the size. I'm gonna miss the Bidenisms. So yeah, this is on the left is his new official presidential photo that he's going to be using. And on the right is the mugshot. So, hey, you were talking about yours being mirrored. I think his is mirrored. That's weird. But yeah, it looks like he's trying to mimic the mugshot, which is pretty awesome. I think that's pretty cool.
Nice.
But yeah, what do you think, chat? But yeah, I'm not messing around for sure. I think if you look at him in the past, people that have not played well with him, he does not go outside of the law, but he knows the law and how to use the law, and definitely goes after those people. And so I wouldn't be at all surprised if the political enemies, if there wasn't some justice or accountability. God, what did they use? A camera from 2000? Look at that. The mugshot.
I don't know. They need to. Some people need to pay the piper, man, especially after what we've gone through as citizens for 4 years. Being demonized en masse for not agreeing with the government. Rejecting wokeness, just everything that they've thrown at us. And as I said, folks, when I told you I'm going to talk about in future episodes, really kind of start deep diving this very intentional housing crisis, as I've talked about it in the past, but the housing crisis and lack of opportunity, and frankly, misappropriation of funds by a lot of these charitable organizations and the government itself when it comes to assistance or helping people that are in rough situations like homelessness or or they're at poverty level and they're stuck without resources. Well, that's all going to the illegals. It's funny. A lot of you guys know I'm Catholic, but I refuse to now try to use Catholic charities because Catholic charities, believe it or not, is one of the prime entities involved at the border giving out the debit cards to the illegals. Bet you guys didn't know that, but yeah, that's true. They're handing out the $5,000 debit cards in accordance, with the UN being there. Shh, we're not supposed to know that. But yeah, that's who's doing it. And they're supposed to be one of the prime organizations. When you call 211 and you say, hey, I'm homeless, or hey, I don't have this, I don't have food, I don't have housing, whatever, that's supposed to be one of the prime entities to reach out. When you reach out to them, usually your local chapter of Catholic Charities says, well, we don't have funding right now, or they give you some excuse, but they have it for the illegals because they're dirty. They're in on it.
Yeah, the whole thing with the illegals, I think that's the just tearing down the borders and shipping them in and planing them all around the country. That's a part of a broader conspiracy. And I don't even think just votes are what they were after. I think there's more to the story than that.
Well, there absolutely was. It was to destabilize a lot of the areas as well. With not only crime, but to continue to destabilize housing. You have all these issues. So for somebody that, let's say, wants to rent, all right, you already are gate kept by credit score, which again, I think it's laughable. We have a government defaulting on millions of dollars in debt, but they have the audacity to give us a credit score. But that alone aside,
Well, yeah, it's the credit bureaus do that, but yeah,
the average
um,
apartment, they want at least minimum 620, minimum 620. Then they want you to have to make 3 times whatever the rent is. Then they also want references. Then they also want the, the first month, the security deposit, and the final month. So a person, especially somebody in need, is walking into a no-win situation. And then on top of it, if you go the flip side to homes, well, you've got investment firms buying up entire neighborhoods. And oh, by the way, those same investment firms own the apartment complexes. So you tell me who's in on creating the housing crisis.
boy, that's weird. I did a search for the 28th Amendment, and AI said it had been the law of the land since 2020. Like, what? Why would AI say something like that that's obviously not true?
Right. Phoenix, they want to force people into the low income housing, into the ghetto housing, and keep you in that cycle of poverty or worse.
Yeah, this economy is rough, and we were talking about that. And here in my area, I think Kohl's shut down a bunch of stores, and then Macy's shut down all but one store. Just places shutting down left and right. And then we're also talking about like kind of the prices of other things, like the price of cars, right? The average cost of a new car right now is like 50 grand. 50 grand.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even. I'm like, what the fuck, man? I mean, new cars have always been expensive for the most part, but 50 grand sounds like a lot.
Yeah, it's funny. Um, I was sitting here examining my options since I don't have a vehicle to get into a car. Well, there's no way to actually go with the credit score that I have and be able to get into a car. So now I'm stuck in the situation where it's like, well, all right, I have to qualify to drive for Lyft or qualify for Uber and hope that I can rent, because I can't even rent, or I can't even go and purchase a used car, even a $10,000 used car, throw like $1,000 down, because my credit score is too low. It's just ridiculous. So even if I made up the money to get a down payment down on something, I couldn't do it. And then you're left with the predatory lots that just put out wrecks, basically, that you buy, that you pay overpriced for, and they finance you for, that aren't cars, frankly, aren't even worth being financed.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 cars JB welded together.
Yeah, and Lyft and Uber have these rental programs, but by the time you pay the $300 a week, and then the rest goes in your pocket, you're still only making 300-400 bucks a week, and that's if you have the time to put in 700 bucks worth a week driving hours. Now the good thing is you can put as much mileage as you want on there doing it, but the bad thing is you're not going to make nearly as much as you did for if you had your own vehicle and were able to do it. So it's messed up. But yeah, you know, I've al- I, I've always wanted to have the conversation with somebody that's in the same situation where they've either had been faced with having no home or no car, and say, what's worse, having no car or no home?
Yep, pretty tough. It's tough. I'm having trouble out there. My seasonal job ended, and been looking for other jobs. I'll tell you what, not high paying jobs. I'm not looking for those. I'm looking for just a job, and
Yeah,
it's fine. Whatever. Of low responsibilities, I'm fine with that. Low pay and low responsibilities, that's fine. As long as I don't have to interact with the public too much, I'll probably be okay. But yeah, I mean, it's so funny because in 2019, even in 2020, things are going pretty well for me.
yeah, yeah. No, definitely things were better before for me, but they just they've just had my ups and downs. Like, I've had to walk at least a good portion of it a couple times, because about four it's about 4.4 miles, almost 4.5 miles to where I work from the hotel I'm staying at, and it's rough. You know, when you don't have enough for Uber or a Lyft, it's crazy. Thank goodness. With my fiance, she works right by here. Her if she has to walk, it's only like a mile, like 1.2 miles for her, not even. So that's good. But yeah, for me, it sucks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the seasonal job wasn't even as lucrative for me as I thought it was going to be because I got freaking mauled here by a dog. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yeah, it's it's showing up kind of
Yeah.
blackish and stuff. But yeah,
There we
yep,
go. Yeah.
yep.
So that was pretty gnarly. And I had to go to the emergency room and get a tetanus shot. So I missed several days of work because of that. And, it bit me, the dog bit me like in three places there. You really got a good hook into me. And then my thigh and my calf. And so yeah, it wasn't even as lucrative of a seasonal job as I was hoping it would be. And then of course the season ended, so now I'm looking for something else. Exploring, I guess, job training stuff. But it sucks. And in the meanwhile, I'm still back to doing like gig economy stuff, mobile food delivery or whatever. Try and make ends meet. And my car, man, my car is really, it's no spring chicken. And so at this point, it's really, really a wing and a prayer with that thing.
Hail
Hail
to the
Tollbot.
hail to.
Yeah. Did I bite the dog back? There wasn't enough time to bite the dog back, unfortunately. That would have been a good strategy. I should have tried that. Instead, I just hid behind a very big box. The box I was delivering. It must have been like an entertainment center or some metal shelves or something. I'm grateful that it was as big as it was because, I would have wanted to get bit in the balls or the crotch area. See, there's a silver
Yeah,
lining. Silver lining, folks.
yeah, that would not be that would not be great. That would have sucked. So yeah, it's good that you avoided that.
Yep. But what's I actually enjoyed that job. Oh, I mean, except for that part. That part sucked. That part wasn't very fun.
Yeah, I've been working the past month or so. I've been working for Best Buy. I got uh, I got hired at Best Buy, but the hours were great during the holidays, and then now with retail being retail, they've turned to shit. But this is, the way of retail at this time of the year. It is dead. Now we're gonna rebound probably during Super Bowl week, but it has been, you know, really crappy. Like the hours that I've gotten for this week and whatnot. So I don't even think I can make ends meet on it. To be honest, I may have to take yet another job, and I don't know how I'm going to do that because I'm on a 2 week pay cycle, and I still got to worry about not only paying for this but trying to hold money aside just so I have Ubers and stuff to work because I don't even have that. If it wasn't for coworkers coming through, man, I'd be really sunk. So
Yep, I hear you. I mean, even that seasonal gig, even though it was during the Christmas season, it actually ended. I think a couple of weeks, or like about a week, maybe 2 weeks earlier than it usually does. They were remarking how much slower it was that Christmas season than past Christmas seasons, and I'm just grateful that I was able to get some money in my pocket, and yeah, it was kind of fun. It was interesting.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully, if if uh, if the economy adjusts eventually, I think that it's going to be a slow, painful process because so much damage has been done. And I'm hoping that more opportunity comes, wages start to stick better, and frankly, you know, I hope they start to get rid of some of some of this some of this tax. I mean, if he's serious about shuttering the IRS, man, that would be the greatest day in America. Then he would be on the shit list of a lot of people.
Well, it seems like most of the conventional wisdom says that we should be inflating our way out of our debt, and so they're going to continue to keep running the same debt. I think Trump had a different approach to that. I think he was more because if you get rid of the interest we pay on the debt, balancing the budget becomes a lot easier, and the way you get rid of the interest you pay every year on the debt, which is more than the defense budget at this point. I think it's like what we're over $1 trillion on just interest alone
Yeah.
each year now, right?
Yeah.
It is just a default. I think is what he's thinking of, and if that's the case, I mean that might be the best option, and that would be a way to get rid of the. That would definitely screw the bankers. It would really screw the bankers, the international bankers. Yeah, but it'd also screw us. We'd be in really bad shape for probably a good 2 years. I
Yep.
mean, it would probably be reminiscent of like the Depression if he handled it the same way. The Depression that Warren Harding had when he entered the White House in 1921. And the reason you don't hear about the Depression of 1921 is, even though it was a very severe one, was because we pulled out of it so quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we'll see. We'll see we'll see what happens. I don't know, man. I want to see it become a more prosperous country. I want us to get back to that 80s feel of doing things and I don't know, just get back to a good golden age. We need that. We really need that. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. The 20th will be a very interesting day, and so will the next 48 hours following.
I definitely think so. I mean, clearly he's, I actually just recently read The Art of the Deal, and I mean, I know that he made deals with Elon Musk and the PayPal mafia folks, and maybe threw little Marco a bone by putting him in the cabinet. This is all stuff from The Art of the Deal, and he definitely still seems to be very much his own man in many ways. So, I'll be cautiously optimistic. I mean, one thing is for sure, and this is a really low bar, but he's been the best president of my lifetime. I was born in '77, so I've got Carter onwards. Let's see what the chat is saying.
Yeah. Rita says, is it possible for someone to smoke 4 packs of cigarettes a day? Now, I don't know if you get stressed out enough to do that. I saw a dude one time, like I talked to him as a guy. He said he smoked 3 packs a day. I was like, man, that's crazy. Shit. It's bad enough. It's bad enough smoking 1.
My grandparents were such dedicated smokers at the end of their life that they were buying bootleg tobacco and like this special machine that had these pre-roll filtered cigarettes, almost like a reloader.
Yeah.
And they would just make their own cigarettes. And so I don't know how much they smoked because the kit came with this like plastic cigarette case.
Mm-hmm.
But had to have been 3 to 4 packs a day between the two of them. They smoked like chimneys. And we were always trying to tell them to quit smoking. We tried to get them to quit smoking for years, and they got the last laugh by living a very, very long life exactly the way they wanted to, getting sick for like 2 or 3 months at the end of their life, but still be ambulatory enough to say goodbye to everybody, and then die relatively quickly and painlessly. So they got the last laugh. I guess the Man, I guess what I'm trying to say is if you're smoking, continue smoking. Yeah.
Yeah, RR says we're entering at least 4 years of a stagflationary recession. Um, Tobat says national deportation force 2025.
Well, he's already threatening to send people into Chicago.
Yeah. Well,
And you know I live in a rural Northern California community here, so there's a lot of farming, and it's funny because in the local boards they had to send a public service announcement out that one of our DUI checkpoints was not doubling as an immigration checkpoint. So there seems to be panic in that community for sure.
yeah. Yeah, it's it's gonna be pretty crazy what's gonna happen. I'm also interested to see what's gonna happen in all the trouble spots in the world. I mean, there's a lot of wild shit happening right now. And we'll see what's gonna happen with the Ukraine war. We've already hit the ground running with the ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas. I don't know how long that's going to last. And frankly, like I was telling you on the phone, Wes, my concern going back to some of these cabinet picks, how are we going to be like over beholden to Israel, or are we going to like be like, hey, cool guys, we got your back, but we're taking care of home, you know?
Well, I think they've got blackmail on us in more ways than one. I think
I
they've
would
got
rather take the attitude towards them like, hey, we're cool with you, you're our friend, but we're taking care of home. We got to take care of us right now. I want to see that attitude towards it.
I don't know. I don't think they'll take no for an answer. I think they've got a lot of blackmail and leverage, and you know, I think they might even have WMDs hidden in the country.
Yeah, I just don't want to be, I'm not saying we shouldn't be an ally to them. I just don't want to be over beholden to them. If that makes sense.
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, I kind of fall. And I think I said this on past streams on this channel and my old channels. And General Marshall wrote a memo and he actually classified it that he didn't think that we should recognize Israel, and he was probably right. Yeah, they pulled out all the stops to get Truman to do that. They
Yep.
got like his old haberdasher buddy that he was in that he was running his store with to lobby him to recognize Israel. I mean, they're
Hail another monster.
pretty insidious. Hail, sir.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just I want to see these things these fires start to get put out, and the economy back on track, and start seeing the people that need to be held accountable. And that's going to be, that to me will be a successful 4 years if that stuff gets done. So, we'll see. I mean,
Unfortunately, yeah, I don't think it's going to be smooth sailing for sure. I think we're
no,
gonna.
I think that the first couple of years are going to be real hard. Rita, I'm not sure. Based on what's happening, I think I have to work on Monday, so I'm not going to be able to actually watch it because I think I'm working 3 to 8 Eastern time, so I'll probably not be able to react to it live anyway.
I may be doing it. I usually take Mondays off, so that may be something that I can do.
Yeah.
I'll be on
Yeah.
my Rumble and Twitter X most likely, possibly Twitch as well.
Oh, there you go. You know, but anyways, I just before we wrap up here, because we're getting ready to wrap up, I just want to say thank you to everybody for watching. I missed you guys. I really have missed you guys.
Me too.
You know, it's been far too long. Real life has me bogged down pretty good right now, but I'm fighting, doing my best. You know, I want to thank everybody that followed my new the new lady in my life on X. I appreciate you giving her a follow. Thank you so much for that. And you know, she treats me quite awesome, I have to say. I am lucky in that aspect. So I'm not going it alone.
And she's not a Fed.
Yeah, and she's not a Fed. So
Yeah,
it's even better. Um,
absolutely.
you know, the other thing that I want to say, guys, is yeah, I'm going to try to get more involved coming back because there's going to be plenty to talk about. And you know, I was laughing at you know, another monster and RR talking about Nephilim. You know, guys, I've been watching a lot. You know, off topic here for a second, a lot of Sasquatch videos lately, and I'm telling you, I don't know. There's some compelling stuff that's really starting to tell me, you know, we may be getting some evidence on Sasquatch pretty soon.
Yeah, you know, I was a skeptic, but I'm starting to be a believer. I'm starting to move over to being a little bit more open-minded about Bigfoot. I think we disagreed on that one, but um, wouldn't it be wild if Bigfoot ate DB Cooper?
Yeah,
I mean, he landed where they find him.
yeah, yeah. You know that is funny, Wes. That is a thing. You know, you're not wrong.
Oh, he could have gone native. He could be living with the Bigfoot right now. They could have adopted him. Could have a Bigfootress wife and all that stuff.
Maybe,
Wearing
maybe.
a loincloth made of money.
Who knows? The Weekly World News was telling the truth the whole time.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man, but but yeah, guys, it was great seeing you. Look, if you wanna catch Wes, obviously he's on Rumble, and you know follow him on Twitter at whatever cast, and you know check out his live streams. He's keeping it going, and he can say the stuff he needs to say on Rumble without them pulling the globalist card and shutting him down on a moment's notice. Like the more I stream, that they'll probably do to me, because I know that they'll come after my channel. They've even been putting stuff, sending me emails when I haven't even been active, telling me that my content needs to, you know, be revenue shared because somebody is mad at my music, or um, they're taking stuff down still for medical misinformation. When I challenge them about the vaccine, anything, they don't like it. But you got to remember who owns this. The globalists still firmly own Google, and in turn, firmly own YouTube. So it's a matter of time before I suffer the same fate. But until then, we're gonna have a good time, and I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna stay me. I'm always gonna talk about this stuff. So
Yep. Yeah, and then Lord Elon's platform, of course, unless you make him mad,
yeah,
then you don't have free speech. But
if you do want to help, you can cash at me. That's my cash tag $ Patriot Journalist 74. If you want to help, you can use the Stream Elements link as well. to tip. Thank you again for just hanging out, guys, contributing, hanging out, chatting, watching, because it's important. The information we put out is important. So thank you. And for those of you that wonder, yeah, I still have my PayPal. I just didn't put the link up there. That's paypal.com/Supreme Heretic. So if anybody wants to help keep the lights on and basically keep me going to work, by all means, feel free. But it's always appreciated, never required. So, anyways, thanks, guys. Let me get out of here. I got some sleep to get. So, I love you, man. Take it easy. Wes,
Love you. Bye.
any final thoughts?
I agree with another monster in that 2024 really sucked, but 2022 and 2023 sucked much worse. So because 2024 sucked slightly less bad, hopefully 2025 will suck even more slightly less bad. And we'll get Conspiracy Chronicles done. I'm almost done with the first draft of all the episodes. Getting really close to getting done with it, and then I'll give it a second pass and maybe a third pass if it needs it. And then just try and get it made. So that's what we're working on.
All right, guys. Well, you don't have to worry about me because I'm never changing. Wes is never changing. Support his channel on Rumble. Follow him on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. Support my channel here. And if God forbid this ever goes down, I'll keep my Twitch channel going. I'll relaunch my Twitch channel if I have to. And we'll go from there. But you'll always find me. I'll always have a voice. So I will see you guys soon. Wes, thank you for being here. And
This is great.
as always, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. We'll see you later. I can never hit the close on time.
Oh, that's the one I wanted to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God. I don't even have like a good ending anymore. All right. See you guys.
Subscribe to Supreme Heretic.
Yep.
Subscribe, like and share the video.
Yeah. I don't have a good ending anymore. I have to come up with one. I really do. It's like there just isn't anything anymore. All right. Well, later, guys.
See ya.